I guess I can showcase Byepass, one of the web challenges here. Um, this was my web challenge. Truth be told, it had a lot of inspiration from Al Has Red. I don't know if folks know of him as another content creator or another red teamer and hacker in the scene, but he had shared a tweet, and I thought, that's actually a very, very cool idea. That's very, very interesting as to what you're showcasing here. So this is the Byepass challenge that is built off of that. It says, hey, help yourself say goodbye to days gone by with our easy online service. You can upload your photos to capture the memory, share some with friends and family, and savor the time we have together. It is a dynamic service challenge, so we can go ahead and click start, allow this instance to spin up here for us, and with that, we're given a connection link. And there is as well a downloadable attachment that'll include the source code here. So let me go ahead and click on that to download. And I'll fire up a terminal and I'll move into just a temporary directory. I suppose I can make one for Byepass stream. We'll move into that. And I'll go grab that downloads that I had of just that Byepass here. So before we dive into the source code or whatever file attachment might be present here, I will go ahead and show you the instance, just that service. So that is this instance that we've spun up here. And the application is kind of silly, kind of simple. It says, hey, say goodbye with loving memories and photographs. I didn't exactly know where I was going for a theme on this one. I know I wanted the challenge to be alluding to a bypass, which is why it was called Byepass with BYE to denote that there. But it's just kind of silly, stupid, regular, like boilerplate screenshots and images from just a bootstrap theme that I kind of just stole off the shelf. But there's nothing interesting here. Like you could click around, hey, view the source. You could click through CSS or JavaScript, but there's nothing really there. There's not much to it, really. Robots.txt, security.txt, all the boring stuff isn't really necessary. The real way to interact with this and how to actually provide input to this is with the start saving memories kind of navigation bar up here. So you will be able to save memories where you upload your favorite pictures of you or your loved ones. And then for better security, here's a note: we limit file extensions that could compromise our service. So maybe a small hint that there's something odd going on here, but you would just naturally be able to upload files, clicking on things as you might like to, and then, hey, just trying to upload it here. I'll go ahead and upload one, I suppose, just an image, just a banjo.jpg. This was one of the warm-ups that we had. So if I submit this, it says, hey, success. Your memory has been saved. You can view your photograph here at upload/banjo.jpg. So that's kind of simple. Clicking on that thing takes you there. I don't know if folks notice, though, and it might be a little hard to see, but at the very, very bottom left, it doesn't actually take you to /uploads. It's not storing things in that uploads folder. That's going to give you a 404 if you try to go there. So the link is written in text the wrong way, but it ends up bringing you towards just in the root of the web application. Going to banjo.jpg will get you that original image. So with that, okay, now we have seen the functionality of the interface of this application. Let's see what this thing really is. We are provided this downloadable file. So I'll go ahead and extract that as it is a 7-zip executable. And then let me open up this directory here. We are presented with some source code, a PHP INI file for the configuration of PHP, because if folks weren't noticing, this application that you're at is running .php. You can see the file extensions. You could, hey, take a look at the responses with your network tab if you really wanted to. You could see in any of these responses that come back, you do have headers that's powered by PHP 7.2.12. So that could clue us in. This PHP INI was just to make sure that, it's configured to display error messages. It's going to allow file uploads, but the Docker file that builds this thing is pretty boring. Simple PHP and Apache, copying our web root, getting the configuration in, and setting the flag in the root of the file system. So the real interest, I know I'm taking forever here, so forgive me. The real interest is digging into what this application is made up of. The homepage is dull, pretty boring, just static HTML. The real interesting stuff is in the save memories.php, where you can see some server-side code. So at the very top, we're turning on errors. We have a variable defined for our target directory in the uploads here, but we know that didn't actually go there. Small upload okay, and then more interestingly, a ext deny list or file extension deny list. This is an array of common PHP file extensions. PHP maybe with a 2 or a 3 or a 5 or different versions of PHP numbers added as a suffix. And then different possible potential PHP parameters or file extensions. Now, we could do something super duper small if we wanted to just make our own test.php. Maybe I add super small. Hey, let's just trigger PHP info to see if we could get that to work. Obviously, trying to upload that, we can assume, given that ext deny list, it won't allow us to do that. So let me try and move to that temp Byepass stream folder. If it took me there, there we go. The moment I try to submit this, it will tell me error, not a valid image to upload, because it's looking for images. However, it doesn't strictly have to be an image. All it's using is this deny list to disallow other PHP extensions. Because ultimately, if we could upload something, we could upload like a PHP web shell or get code execution if the web server were to ultimately execute it. This logic here, the rest of this code, is actually allowing and going through the process of uploading your file. It's making sure that you've supplied one, provide it to the web page, checking if it is in this deny list of file extensions, and if it is, then that's when you get our error and it will not upload. We also have a check on file size so we don't blow up the server, but ultimately if it's okay to upload, then it will properly put it in a location. Otherwise, it just fails. And that's the gist. That's the gimmick. Hard part here is that, well, normally our way to success by uploading a PHP web shell would not work because all of this is denied. But we can upload anything else, right? Like if I try to upload, just a random text file, here I'm selecting command.txt or anything else present in my directories here, I could upload this. And nice. Okay, cool. It slaps it right there. But that's our content of the file. So we know, sure, we can just upload anything. And forgive me, I know this looks like a weird thing. That's some other MSDT testing. Yeah. And with that, we're kind of scratching our head as to, man, what the heck can we do? So I'm going to go ahead and grab something off screen just so I can remember and give credit where credit is due here. Ultimately, this whole idea came from Al Has Read. And I was like, ooh, what if you're ever in the situation where you have a file upload capability, but PHP files, as you would normally hope them to be allowed, are disallowed? You can't gain server-side code execution. So what if you could trick Apache or that backend web service to interpret any other file extension just as PHP code? So while folks might have been scratching their head here, there is a gimmick, and that, if you just craft your own htaccess file, then maybe you could force any other file extension. He's using .cth here, and just telling it, hey, process this as PHP code. So kind of weird, kind of interesting, but let me roll with that idea. What if we were to go grab just any random PHP web shell, and we can just literally grab this off the shelf? I'll go ahead and Google for some other individual's code that they're willing to share out on GitHub. Looks pretty good. I'm seeing, what they've got here for this screenshot. This looks like a fine web shell. So we can grab all the syntax, and I'll go ahead and save this. I'm just grab a scrappy test.php again. Now note, again, we can't upload this .php file extension, but what if we were to go ahead and make that our own thing? We can call it like webshell.subscribe or so to give some love to Carlos's stream. So with that, we do have our PHP web shell. However, it's a different file extension. You could make this whatever you wanted to, really. So before I go ahead and fire up this htaccess file, let's see if we can upload this thing. Let me grab backend temp bypass stream. Now we have our web shell.subscribe. If I hit select and then upload this, great. It has been uploaded. You can go to this location. But right now, the server is just going to spit out the, again, raw plain text as we saw. It's not being processed. It's not being invoked and executed on the server side. But if we did that silly trick where we instead took our own .htaccess file, we went ahead and created one, we could add in that syntax where we add a type based off of a MIME type, I'm going to assume here, saying that the application will then allow HTTPD processing for PHP, a .subscribe file extension. Now we'll have to upload this, but then suddenly our web shell.subscribe will no longer just spit out the code, but actually allow it to execute. So let me go ahead and move back and upload that htaccess file. There it is. There's our .htaccess, about 43 bytes. We can go ahead and submit this. And because there's no validation, because it's only using a deny list, not an allow list, we know that, htaccess is provided. I don't know if I broke anything. Let's hope and fingers crossed we didn't. But if I refresh this page, nope, totally broke something. I probably had that syntax wrong. Let me grab one more time. Issue of using live demos, right?
Yeah, that's the problem I have with live demos, man. There are always errors.
Let's see, is the full page broken? It is. All right, cool. Let me just restart that instance. That's one of the fine benefits of being able to spin up your instance back and forth, is that, we totally broke something. I made a mistake. Hey, no issue. You can just kind of start and stop.
Yeah, actually that's great for a CTF platform. Hey, while this is reloading, can I ask you a question?
Absolutely.
So I think htaccess file is something kind of well known for file uploads. But I think I didn't know this trick, and certainly I couldn't find it in Hacktricks, which is awesome. And if you don't mind, I will be appending it after this talk.
Totally.
But what Hacktricks will suggest you is to go to a GitHub repository called htcells that, well, apparently will get you RC. Do you know if that is something that people could have used to solve this challenge? You don't know about this repo, or I don't
know. Say that again. I'm sorry. What was that last bit?
Sorry, there is a GitHub repo called htcells that suggests you some cells to use with htaccess files. Cells with sh. Sorry.
Oh, HT shells. Sorry.
Yeah. Yeah.
Ooh, that's super slick. I wasn't familiar with this one personally.
Well, maybe there is another way, but
yeah,
I certainly didn't have this trick. Also, would you mind sharing this Twitter link in the Zoom chat so I can set it to the chat in Twitch or something?
Absolutely.
So people can access it?
Yeah, so I'll go ahead and share that in Twitch for Al Hazred's original message. I would love to point folks towards CTF time in case there are any write-ups being shared there, as well as the Discord server where some folks have been sharing CTF write-ups for Nahamcon. Let me see if I can drag this in. And that, hey, we do have a dedicated CTF write-ups channel where folks were playing and participating, and you might be able to see some great folks sending other intel in there. See their solution if they did anything different. But fingers crossed, I do see our htaccess file now being uploaded properly, fingers crossed. So I'll go ahead and upload this web shell.subscribe once again. I don't think I have uploaded it just yet, so we will see a 404 here currently. But if now that I've added that htaccess, fingers crossed, here's the issue with demos. But there we go. Now that our htaccess file is present, we can go ahead and run some commands. I'll run simply the ID command. Hey, of course, run it as dub data. Obviously, who am I? Still dub data. Check out where we are in the file system. Take a look at what we have around us. There's everything that we might have uploaded previously. we know that we do have the flag in the very root of the file system. So I'll include the slash there, and then you'll see our flag.txt. We can go ahead and cat that out as that is world writable or world readable, forgive me.
Yeah, fortunately, it's not word readable.
And that is it. That is the gimmick there. That is the hiccup. But you're totally right in that, hey, that little trick, that little small, just add type wasn't something that I had seen in hack tricks. Where I got this whole file extension list to be the deny list, that I pulled directly from hack tricks. So kudos and credit to you there. But maybe a sweet new thing, hey, we'll be able to include that little HT access manipulation just as well. So huge thanks for letting me showcase that one. I hope that's kind of fun, and I hope it's a good new learning lesson for folks that haven't seen